The opinion set breaks apart. Anna Navarro calls the producer cheap. Co-host of The View, Anna Navarro, said that she can be a bit of a bully at times and criticized one of the show's producers for being cheap. This discussion took place on the Behind the Table podcast for the program. See what caused Anna to make these remarks by reading on. Producer Brian Tedda told listeners at the beginning of the podcast on Friday that the View set had actually just begun to come apart. He said to the audience, "Pandemonium is breaking loose here in the podcast studio. The set just collapsed behind us, almost hit me." He continued by saying that even as parts of the studio collapsed, Anna didn't even flinch. After that, Brian made a joke about not knowing why things were falling apart the way they were. The View has a large budget and is a very successful talk program. Anna Navarro quickly responded when Brian made the mistake of asking her why she believed the studio was collapsing. "You seem like a cheap person to me," she said. "You need to spend more money," Anna went on. "There are some panels here that are barely holding on." Subsequently in the episode, Anna conceived of a publication scenario. Before she published it, she asked Brian if he would need to evaluate it. He acknowledged that he would need to take a closer look at it initially. "Is that covered under my contract?" she inquired. In response, Brian Tedda chuckled and said he would need to review her contract. He said, "I have to have the contract out every time you come here so I can take a look." It appeared that the podcast frequently singles out Brian Tedda for criticism. Anna Navarro said to him on Friday's broadcast, "I only agreed to do this podcast because I get to bully you. This, I believe, is the reason Joy Behar also does it." Sunny Hostin, another co-host of The View, was featured in the episode that aired prior to Friday's. Brian mentioned in a conversation that he frequently needs to yell at the midday talk show hosts to keep to their scheduled time. Sunny answered right away, stating, "I think it's rude when you play the music." Even though the hosts are still talking, Brian Tedda frequently needs to interrupt to cut to a commercial break. She went on to explain that she didn't think someone with the status of Whoopi Goldberg, her co-host, should be fired. She remarked, "You're playing Whoopi off like it's the Oscars, and she is an EGOT." Prosk.